And hello, everybody. Welcome to Space Care is Self Care. I am live for 6 weeks to talk about mindful and intentional decluttering and how it can brighten up homes, lives, and communities. I am Ali Canita and I am a professional organizer and decluttering coach. My mission is to bring clarity and empowerment in businesses, homes, and individuals. I am a professional member of the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals, an ICF executive coach, and a certified meditation and mindfulness teacher. All these I bring into different ways I serve. I coach individuals for clarity, alignment, and transformation. I also speak in events and corporate workshops, and I help families declutter and organize their homes ready for a new chapter. So basically, I advocate for space care being a form of self care through mindfulness and intentionality. So, our first session, that was like 2 weeks ago, was about creating intentions to help you get a direction in your decluttering and organizing journey. What are you pursuing in your quest to have a tidy home? And during our second session, we talked about clutter being costly. And together, we computed how much time, money, energy, and health are spent because of it. So if you missed the two sessions, you can still watch them later through our FB page aligned with Ali Canita. So in our episode today, we will be doing something more practical to find out where you can begin your decluttering journey. Okay, so hi Ate, hello, hello. So let me know in the comment section if you're here and if you're watching. For those who are just tuning in a little bit late, you can come back to the first part of the session so you can follow because this is more of like a practice of what we do in Align Your Home. Okay, so get ready with your pen and paper because I will guide you to do space mapping. Hold on, let me pull up my banner here and here. Okay, so if you have questions, and I would love to get questions from you, you can type in the chat, or you can also simply message me, and I will answer your question next week if it doesn't make it on time for our session or live session today. So in Align Your Home, we have a three-step process in decluttering and organizing, and maybe you have noticed during our first session, we talked about intention because it's very important to be clear what you value the most. It's also very important to get clear with your values and the experience that you want because this becomes your powerful driving force to get you started and even continue with your journey. So maybe some of you have already created your intention. And intention is also called sadya or ano ba yung gusto mo? What do you actually want to accomplish? And you can also use this as your filter as you decide which ones to keep and which ones to let go. So not only it will help you direct your journey of decluttering and organizing your spaces, may it be at home and at work, but it can also guide you as you decide. It will actually make it easier for you to decide if you're going to keep something or let it go based on your intention. And remember, when the intention is clear, the mechanism appears. They say when the intention is about 90% of the work and everything else becomes easy when it's very clear. And to support this and to make it to make it even easier for you, the next step in Align Your Home after intention or intend is notice. This is where we apply mindfulness in spaces by observing what is currently occupying our space and becoming more aware of how we feel, how our spaces affect our senses, and also being able to see patterns along the way. And the last one is a line where we reorient our pursuit of decluttering and organizing to what we value the most. And this is what's going to happen in the remaining three live sessions I have scheduled. So we'll talk about bedroom, the work desk, and also your computer. So I'm going to share my screen to talk about the second step, which is notice. And we are able to practice noticing through space mapping. Okay, so let me check our comment section. I am unable to see the other page, but Yeah, if you have questions, just feel free to ask. And please get ready with your pen and paper because I will ask you to draw. Okay, so what do we do in space mapping? I've done space mapping a lot of times for different audiences. And space mapping allowed them to really get in touch with their space, to become more aware of their space. And while they were drawing, they finally realized that there's a certain part of their house or office that they haven't even visited for a long time, or like an area, a cabinet, or the space under the bed. And this is what happens when you do space mapping. So first, when you do space mapping, the first step to do is to draw a floor map of your space. So it could be your bedroom, it could be your workspace, it could be your entire unit if you're living in a condo, or your house or your property. So basically, you will draw a map, and then from there, this is the list of what you can highlight. So first, if you're going to do the whole unit, if you're going to do the space mapping of your whole house, make sure that you are able to also draw the partition. Which area is this? Is this the bedroom? Is this the kitchen? What is really the purpose of the room? And then also draw the different furnitures, the current arrangement of the furnitures. And then here, when you draw, you will also be able to notice how the furnitures are affecting the usual flow traffic of people inside the house or even in the office. And then after mapping the furniture, also try to draw the clutter hotspots. So what do I mean by clutter hotspots? Clutter hotspots are areas where things easily accumulate, or spaces where dun mo natatambak talaga yung gamit. Yeah. So after doing this, so maybe let me know if some of you are actually doing it with me. But usually this takes time. 5 minutes won't be enough to do the space mapping. So take this as an instructional video for when you do the space mapping. Okay. So after highlighting the clutter hotspot, sometimes I even ask the participants to draw which parts of the house are dark, narrow, because these things actually have an impact with the energy that's flowing in your space. So after highlighting that, you can also um, pinpoint which are the areas frequently used or underused. This one was specifically helpful for one of my clients because she was trying to look for a space for her to be able to do work. And when she did the space mapping, she realized that there was a room in her house that was really underutilized. And because they're always busy, there are always things that occupying their headspace, being able to draw it, the actual space map of their homes, made them realize that, oh, there are parts of the house that we don't really notice anymore. And so when she did the space mapping, it became clear for her to find out which part of the house she can actually start. So she tackled that room that they weren't using, that they haven't been using for a long time, and then decluttered that space so that they could convert it, to a space where she can move her work area. So it's actually a gem to do the space mapping, especially when you are busy. Taking time to ground down, taking time to really sit down and notice your spaces. And this mindful work of from your mind to your heart to your hands, being able to see it and being able to notice it will really help you with your decluttering journey. Because some experts in the field will tell you to start with your closet. Some experts would say, oh, just start in your bedroom or even in your um, storage room to be able to make space. But me, I believe that we are all in different starting points. We also have different perceptions. We see our spaces differently, and we also consider different values. And you being able to do space mapping allows you to get in touch with what you really value the most. How are your spaces affecting you, and how you would want it to affect you. And then from here, you will be able to realize what would really work for you, where to start, where would it best for you to start. And it's specifically curated just for you when you do the space mapping. So apart from, so for purpose, the furniture, clutter hotspots, areas frequently used and underused. Next is how each part of the house makes you feel. Because this is very, very important. Our feelings are coming from our thoughts, right? And sometimes our thoughts are is the result of our action. And it's just a cycle. But ultimately, sometimes how we feel is really important. Well, most of the time, how we feel is important, especially in our spaces, especially when we talk about our spaces as a way to take care of ourselves. And so just pinpoint, just become more aware of how are you feeling in a certain part of your home. Um, because that will really help you curate how you want it to be, how you want to experience your space. So, especially if you are very clear already with your intention, let's say your intention is to feel light at home. And then when you do the space mapping, you can pinpoint where in your home you're actually not feeling so light. So you can already take note of this, and it could be part of your initial strategy on how to move forward with your intentional decluttering and organizing journey. Yeah. So how each part of the house makes you feel, and then also check the patterns. Maybe the reason why there's an accumulation of clutter in that specific part of the house is because when you arrive home, you just dump it in this spot. Then you already know that you can actually um, be able to, how do I say it, create a new habit, not to put it there, or be able to at least try to move it out, spread it out where it has to be, where it is supposed to be. Another pattern that you might notice when you do the space mapping is that it's really just totally chaos everywhere. It's total chaos everywhere because perhaps there's no specific or there's no designated home for those items. And because of that, everywhere else is the designated home. Yeah. And you will also, perhaps in the space mapping, you might also notice that there are, like for me personally, sometimes some kitchen items suddenly are put in my drawer. And I noticed that there's a pattern. My daughter would take some of those kitchen stuff and put it in my drawer as a form of play. So what do I do about that? Do I lock my drawer or something? So there are funny, funny things that you will notice when you do your own space mapping. So just feel free to enjoy and take time, because sometimes there are patterns that you might not notice because you're very busy, and this is actually a good exercise for you to roll your sleeves and finally strategize, right? Okay, let me move on to my next slide. So now you're finished with the space mapping. How do you now use this to find out how to start? So because me, I am a firm believer that it's really a journey, and I can give you a guide on how to get started, but the actual stuff really still depends on you, because it depends on how you want to experience yourself, and it also depends on your intention. So this space map is actually your data. Your intention is your point B, where you want to go. Your space map is your point A. right? So the space map is not is your the drawing of your actual condition, is the drawing of the actual condition of your space, your room or your spot, and this is where you are able to work. This is these are the things that you are able to work around with. Okay, so from all the things that you noticed, what bears weight the most? What is your key takeaway? Right? So you can think about this, go back to this later, or yeah, think about it, because like it's like being able to analyze what you have found out as you drew your space. And then the second question you can ask yourself, which area would be easiest to tackle? Would it be easier for you to tackle the hardest? It depends on how you work, right? It also depends on your own style. Some people they'd like to tackle the big stone first before the pebbles. Some people would like to work on the pebbles first before they even get um to the big to the big rock, to the big stone. Yeah, and because we're all unique. It could be that I work well when I tackle the big ones first. And maybe for some, they work well with tackling the small ones first to, increase the confidence, to get the ball rolling, to keep the momentum going. So it's not just one way. I'm not a fan of giving you a one way a canned a canned or like a recipe on how to do it, because you're the person who would be able to judge it better. I'm just here to guide you, for you to be able to find out what would work for you just right. So for some people, like for Marie Kondo, she wouldn't really advise to tackle the sentimental items just yet, because for some people it's really really hard to tackle the sentimental items first. And usually, the pattern would be that they would spend more time going back to the memory lane because of all the sentimental items, and the time is already gone. But for some, they straight away want to work with the sentimental items, because that's what how they want to experience themselves, and it sometimes it does work. So it's really totally up to you. Joshua Becker, who is an expert on in minimalism, he would also say to start with the easiest, because it will also build momentum. And if you want to build momentum, just like building a habit, you have to start small. Yeah. So all of these options are open for you. Some would get really strategic about it, like my intention is to really make space. So which part of the house will help me make space faster? And most of the time it's the storage area, right? So earlier, I mentioned to rank in terms of feeling, to rate the space or get in touch with your feelings based on feelings depending on the space that you are in. So you can actually rank it accordingly. Where do you feel best? Where do you where do you get instantly irritated? Ganyan. Or you can also um, rank it according to the time that you spend. Like if you spend most of your time in the bedroom, or you spend most of your time in the entertainment area, can also take this into consideration, because you will also realize what becomes more urgent. Is it my bedroom or the living room? So go back to your intention. Go back to your intention and reorient the tasks that's needed to be done based on what you value the most. So this is the part where we're going to align. So you already have your point B, which is your intention, and then point A, which is your space mapping. And then alignment is really being able to adjust being able to make changes that will lead you to your intention. Okay, let me see if I don't have, this is the last slide. So if you have questions, feel free, um, just feel free to type it in. I will just look at the comments. Okay. Hi Jam, hi Ate Heidi, hi Gerard. And Gerard says that this is my favorite tool taught by Coach Ali. Yay! And yeah, he also added here that using space mapping increased his awareness. So yeah, because that's the intention of the space mapping, becoming more aware of your spaces, how your spaces are affecting you, so that you are able to, when you are able to shift it to something that will work better for you. Because as also mentioned during our first session, your spaces can either enhance or diminish the quality of your life. And so how do you want to design it? How do you want to recreate it as you tidy up your space? Yeah. Okay. Looks like we don't have a question. I'm so sad. And so this space mapping can come out as your instant task list. You can list down what are the three things that are essential for you in that room to be able to help you experience or to be able to do the purpose of that room. You can also write down things that are not helpful for the experience that you want in that room. And also three things that can enhance your experience in that room. Right. So let me know if it's actually helpful for you, because I saw how helpful it was for most of my workshop participants. So Jam has a question. What is a clutter hotspot? So a clutter hotspot is where clutter is always present, or the spot where the clutter always goes back. It just goes back even after decluttering. It just goes back to that spot. It could also be your cabinet. After decluttering the cabinet, after a month or so, the cabinet is uh, you cannot close the doors of the cabinet anymore. So that's also an example of a clutter hotspot. Or maybe it's behind the door. That could also be a clutter hotspot. Or a table or a dining table where things are always left. Yeah, maybe because they don't have their own home. Yes, and this one, Jam also says, do you have that one chair where you place all clutter? Yes. I used to have that one. I had a sofa where I will put my office bag, my laptop, and some of my shopping bags because I'm too tired to put them where they should be put. Or basically, they don't have any other space. And that becomes the clutter hotspot. Sometimes it's the hotspot for my laundry. Yeah. So yeah, it's real clutter hotspot. Okay. All right. So actually, you can message me if you have questions for next week, because next week we'll be talking about alignment tips for the bedroom. And just prepare for our this is our third episode, and we're already wrapping up. So to prepare for the next one, you can send me questions of the or even insights, or share with me your challenges, why it's difficult for you to declutter your bedroom, because that's going to be our topic next week. So get clearer with your intention and go back to your space mapping. Go back to perhaps do the space mapping for your bedroom, because our topic for next week is bedroom. So you can pick up tips that can truly help you with your journey. So again, thank you everyone who tuned in today. See you again next week. Bye.